with me. You're at the Cotton Club in Harlem, New York City, in the 1930s. You're at a party. Everyone's dancing. The style of music that they're dancing to, the genre, is called jazz. It's truly an American genre. One that was created here is enjoyed all over the world. It is important to show the evolution of this music from its beginnings in the late 1800s all the way to today in its various forms. Jazz is a huge genre, and there are many, many musicians that have recorded. It's simply, the genre itself is simply too big to put all in one slideshow, so I've decided to focus on some main points of different eras of jazz. Three distinct areas: ragtime, swing, and cool jazz. And for this presentation today, I've gotten the research from these sources: jazz.about.com, jazzinamerica.com, and the New York Times. I'll first start with ragtime, which was 1893 to 1917. It originated in the Midwest when black bands combined the sound of traditional marches and traditional music and classical music enjoyed in Europe with popular dances of the day, including the cakewalk in Charleston. It's called ragtime music because of the ragged style of the rhythms on the right hand of the piano and the simple bass lines of the left hand, as you hear in this piece called The Entertainer, which was written by Scott Joplin, who interestingly is from this part of East Texas. Other notable musicians of this genre include Jelly Roll Morton and Scott Joplin, and also besides this popular composition, it's also Maple Leaf Rag. It's always very popular. From here, we go to swing, which enjoyed popularity between 1920 and 1945 in the dance halls of the United States, as well as in Europe during World War II, where military bands would travel and play this type of music for the soldiers. It originated in New York City. The big bands at the time were popular because of the fact that radio was becoming more widespread and popular, and because record sales were booming. People were listening to vinyl records, and it was something very mainstream that everyone enjoyed. The big band is a band where you generally have 5 trumpets, 5 trombones, 5 saxophones, and you have a rhythm section which consists of drums, guitar, upright bass, and piano. There were many famous band leaders at the time, including Benny Goodman, who played the clarinet. You have Duke Ellington and Count Basie, who both played piano and they composed music. We also have Glenn Miller, pictured here, who was in the military. He was in the Air Force after he was popular as a band leader, where he played for troops overseas in Europe to contribute to the war effort. Some notable compositions include what you're hearing now, In the Mood, April in Paris, which you heard at the beginning, and Benny Goodman's piece, Sing, Sing, Sing. The swing is characterized by the swing being behind the time of the music, instead of going like this, like da 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 da, instead of going swing like da 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 da, playing behind the beat. It was something that everybody enjoyed dancing to all across the world at this time. Here we go to cool jazz, enjoyed in the 1950s especially, including people like Miles Davis at the forefront of this era. It brought jazz further into the mainstream. More and more people were listening to this music. Cool jazz was something very soft, very light, very fluid motion in music, which you hear in this piece, which is called Vocalistic. they were highly arranged songs. The full band sections were read off of this music. They were all very smooth and similar, as well as the solo sections in the middle, which were improvised by a musician, a trumpet, maybe a saxophone, clarinet, even piano or bass would take a solo. And generally, that part of the music was open, and they could play as long as they wanted during the solo, just hear about the saxophone. Some popular musicians were Miles Davis, Chet Baker, Woody Herman, and Dizzy Gillespie, and some of the more popular compositions would be this, Publicity, Around Midnight, Reflections, and D. In general, this genre has had many different sounds, from ragtime, to the big brass bands, to the big bands of the 30s and 40s, cool jazz, and even later on, fusion jazz, or which jazz was mixed with rock music, as well as very small jazz compositions that involved piano and drums and certain solo instruments such as a saxophone or a trumpet or a trombone. Jazz music is an American style. It lives on to this day and will be enjoyed in the future. There is no limit to what jazz is and what jazz can do. It can be anything. It was created from European music, from Latin music. It was played by piano and other large bands. And I think it's something that is very important for everyone to know about. And myself, being a musician who's played jazz for the last 5 years or so, and who has been exposed to it for all my life, is something I enjoy, and I think that it is important for everyone to know.